G'day everyone. In this video, I'm going to go through the difference between version 3, version 4, and version 5 aim assist that's available on the Taylordrift Scottish Tryhard scripts. Let's get into it. Okay, first up we have version 3. Now version 3 aim assist is activated once you aim down your sight. When you aim down your sight, the aim assist will draw a certain shape. The shape is chosen by you. So you go into the settings. The first thing you come to here, you can see you've got polar and there's also a linear. This will change the type of shape that you can choose. So on the polar options, you have all circle, helix, spiral, oval, so circular kind of shapes. If you change this to linear, you'll get diamond. So there's spiral, prism, wide diamond, tall diamond. So that's all you're changing when you change these two here. It's just the types of shapes that you get to choose from. Now you might be wondering what these shapes are actually doing. So I'll leave it on circle. I'll back out so that saves. You'll see now that when I aim down my sight, my right stick will draw a circle. So that's what the aim assist mod is doing. It's continuously moving your aim to manipulate the in-game aim assist. Now I have turned up the aim assist stuff really high to make sure this controller on the screen is going to pick it up, but you get the point anyway. That's what the shapes are doing. And this is why you get the screen shake with the aim assist, because your right stick is drawing a shape when you aim down your sight. That's where the screen shake comes from. Now if I go back into the menu, back to version 3, and we change this to tall oval instead, back out so that saves, you'll see that now when I aim down my sight, it still draws a shape, but it's slightly different. It's now drawing that tall oval shape instead. So that's all this is doing. When you come in here and you choose a shape or you change the shape, that's all it's doing. When you aim down your sight, the right stick is going to draw the shape that you have chosen. There's none that are really better or the best. It all comes down to personal preference. If you go into the Taylordrift Discord and you look at all the aim assist values that the admins put up and all the other users put up, not all of them use the exact same shape. This is because it comes down to personal preference and what feels better for them. So if you do want to use this group and you are feeling a little bit experimental, the main thing you want to do is go through and try a bunch of different shapes and see what you feel comfortable with. Getting into the actual values that you can change now. So we've got radius. As you can see, it's on 45. So I had to turn it up that high to make sure the controller on the screen picked it up. I definitely don't recommend running it that high in Warzone because it would be absolutely ridiculous. Either way, the radius is just the size of that shape. So you can see here on 45, once I aim down my sight, we have that size. If I go back and I change this to, let's see here, change it to 35 instead, back out so that saves. It still draws the circle, but it's doing it a little bit smaller. So that's all the radius is doing. The radius is just changing the size of that shape that's being drawn when the aim assist is activated. The next one over is ADS speed. So this is going to be the speed that the shape is drawn when you're aiming down your sight. So you can see here the standard speed. Okay, that's on 10. Now if we go back in and we change that up to something a lot higher so we can actually notice a difference. If we change that to 40, back out so that saves, you'll now see when I aim down my sight, it still does the circle, but it's a lot quicker. And it works the same when you go backwards. So if we go back in, we change this down to, let's say, 2, something like that, really low. Aim down my sight. You'll now see the circle is going extremely slow. After ADS speed, we've got stick speed. So this is the same as ADS speed. This is going to be the speed that the shape is drawn, but it's going to be when you're moving the right stick. We have the normal ADS speed, which I put back to 10. But once I move the right stick, you'll see it speeds up a little bit. You can see it moving faster. So just to make it a bit more obvious for you, I'll go back in and we'll change this one to stick speed to 35. All right. So the normal ADS speed is still on 10. But then once I move the right stick, it speeds up to the stick speed that you have chosen. Okay, now next we have Taylor tracking. This is new to the Taylordrift aim assist stuff. Now what Taylor tracking does is whatever shape you have chosen, it's still going to draw that shape. But when you move the right stick, the Taylor tracking is going to move that shape in a circular motion slightly off center to hopefully stay on that aim assist box and keep your aim assist dragging towards the person. It's never going to stick directly on them. You're going to have to make sure to use your thumbs and keep up. But the Taylor tracking does seem to keep your aim on that aim assist box for a little bit longer compared to having it off. The issue is this controller that you see on the screen now, it does not pick up the Taylor tracking stuff very well at all. You just can't see it, but I've explained what it does. Now you've got two options in here. You've got size and you've also got speed. Size is how much off-center movement you want. The higher the value you make it, the more jerky it's going to be. Then you've got speed, and that's how fast you want it to move the shape off-center, separate from the aim assist speed though. I know that's confusing, and I wish I could show you how it works on this controller on the screen here, but again, it just doesn't pick it up. However, that's how it works. Now, before I forget about it, there's also shape direction. What shape direction does, with it turned on, you'll see when I aim down my sight, it's going to draw that shape that we have chosen. Now you can see the shape is being drawn anti-clockwise. You'll see when I move my stick to the right, it now moves clockwise. When I let go, it goes back to anti-clockwise. When I move to the left, it stays anti-clockwise. Now, if I go back in and I turn the shape direction off, you'll see what happens now. When I aim down my sight, that circle is drawn anti-clockwise. When I move my stick to the right, the shape is still drawn anti-clockwise. So with shape direction on, it changes the direction the shape is being drawn depending on which way you're moving your right stick. Now, last but not least, we also have Boost on Fire. Boost on Fire has two options. There's strength and there's also speed. The way this works is these values here, the strength and the speed, is added to your radius and your ADS speed when you start shooting. So to give you an example, go back here, we have a look at our radius size. We've got 30. And we've got our ADS speed of 10. Okay, so this means that with Boost on Fire on and a boost strength value of 10 and a boost speed value of 5, this means that when you start shooting, your radius will change to 40 and the ADS speed will change to 15. All right, so to give you the example here, I back out, so all that saves. As I aim down my sight, we've got the radius of 30 and the ADS speed of 10. But you can see when I pull the trigger to shoot, that changes. So again, let go of the trigger. We've got our normal radius and normal speed. Once you start shooting, that radius will change and the speed will change as well. So to make this a little bit more obvious, I'll go in and I'll change this a little bit more. So let's turn this up to 30 and let's turn this right up to 35, something ridiculous. So we can really tell the difference. So aiming down the sight, just regular radius, regular speed. Once you start shooting though, there you go, everything gets added. And that's all the Boost on Fire is doing. It's just simply adding these values to your radius and speed when you start shooting. Now, there's one more thing that I need to explain with version 3 aim assist, and that's what happens when you move the stick all the way to the right or all the way to the left. So you'll see here what happens. We aim down our sight, we've got our normal radius and speed. When I start moving it, everything else is kicking in the way I have it set up. But you'll see when I move it all the way to the right, what happens? It stops. Or it kind of stops. It gets very small that you can't even see the circle being drawn there anymore. As soon as I let go, back to normal. And that's the same going to the left as well. The more you move it to the left, the smaller that shape gets drawn. All right, so go all the way to the left, and the shape is pretty much non-existent. You can see the stick there slowly, jittering up and down from the shape, but it's almost not there. So what happens with version 3 aim assist, the more you move the right stick to the right or to the left, the smaller that shape is drawn. And that's going to be important to know, especially once we get to the version 5 part. Next up, we've got version 4 aim assist. Now, version 4, once you go into there, you'll see that it has the exact same options as version 3. So I don't need to go through and explain how all of these work. I just did that with version 3. These work the exact same in here for version 4. The difference, you'll see that once you get to the end here, there is an option for dead zone. And the reason why this one is here is because, like I mentioned with version 3, that one activates when you aim down your sight. However, version 4 activates once you move your right stick past its dead zone threshold. My dead zone is 0.10. I'll put it on 10. Back out so that saves. You'll see that once I aim down my sight, nothing happens. However, once I start moving the stick, everything starts kicking in. And there we go. So that's the difference between version 3 and version 4 so far. Everything else still works the exact same. It's just that the aim assist activates when you move the stick past its dead zone threshold. And that dead zone threshold is selected right here. That's it. So it is best to match it with your in-game dead zone that you've got. However, it's not 100% essential to do that. Even if you just left it on the default and yours is on, 10 or 5, it's not going to make a massive difference. However, match it anyway just to make sure it's going to be working as best as possible. Okay, now the last aim assist is version 5. Version 5 works just like version 3 in the sense that it activates when you aim down your sight. So you'll see here, once I back out, aim down my sight, that all works the same. I've moved my stick. The stick moves a bit faster because the stick speed is turned up higher than the ADS speed. Now, you might be wondering, well, what's the difference then? You'll see here with version 5, when I move the right stick all the way to the right, that shape is still being drawn at the same size. Unlike version 3, where the shape gets drawn smaller the more you move your aim, this one stays the same size. So all the way to the left stays the same size, all the way to the right stays the same size again. Everything else in here works the exact same as I mentioned before. So we've got radius, ADS speed, stick speed, Taylor tracking, all of those work the exact same as like I mentioned when I was going through version 3. And there we go. So that's everything I wanted to go through for this video. By now you should have a decent understanding about the difference between version 3, version 4, and version 5 aim assist. You should also have a decent idea of what's going to be happening when you're changing those values around as well now. The one thing that I can recommend out of this is when it comes to the radius, just make sure that you got a little bit of screen check there just to make sure you're taking advantage of the aim assist mod as much as possible. You don't need to dive deep and spend 2 hours trying to work out, oh, I need the best and the stickiest aim assist values. Trust me, there's no magic combination of aim assist values that's going to make this aim assist mod 20 times stronger than what it is just by turning it on. So there's no need to stress about the best and the stickiest settings. But if you do feel like changing a few of them around by watching this video, at least you're going to have a much better idea now of what you're going to be doing. Now, if you do have any questions about this script or the Zen in general, feel free to ask those in the comments. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you next time.